Hello, my name is Axis, and I'm here to introduce you to the basics of professions on the Unknown Shores server. Unlike traditional World of Warcraft, players will not be required to raid, quest, or level up to obtain gear or spells. In fact, the whole of the play area is completely different, and we've created a set of professions in the RPG system to handle player crafting, gathering, and building. The professions system comes in two types. The first, gathering, will enable players to collect raw and refined resources. And then there's crafting, which will allow players to create items to wear, consume, or trade. Players will be able to spend productivity, a stat that they can generate over the course of a day, and they can spend this on professions or other tasks. Deciding how you spend your productivity each day can become quite important. There are 5 gathering professions: prospector, woodlander, trapper, salvager, and fisherman. And there are 5 crafting professions: weaponsmith, armorsmith, outfitter, mystic, and provisioner. Each of these has a skill range going from 1 to 100 and can be leveled up independently, or they can all be leveled at once. A player can potentially have level 100 in all professions, should they decide to spend the time on it. You can see the current level of all your professions as well as your daily productivity cap in the professions section of your RPG handbook. Let's take a minute to run through how to use the gathering professions. When you've decided you'd like to gather, you should first seek out a location where you might find the materials you're looking for. On Unknown Shores, the environment has been set up to have resources based on the topography and geography. Rather than finding a metal node or an herb on the ground, look around and think about what might be there. Trees might indicate timber for a woodlander. Rocky terrain or a cave may indicate metal for a prospector. Bush cover and places for critters to hide might indicate animals for trappers. Ruins and debris might indicate treasure for salvagers, and seaside flotsam might indicate fish for a fisherman. Once you've found an area that you think might have resources, survey the environment with your RPG handbook. Check under More Actions, and then examine local resources. When you examine resources, you'll be able to see what type is there, the scarcity of the material, and how much has been harvested. In general, the rarity will determine your chance of getting higher value materials, and the scarcity and harvest level will help you determine how much more you can gather there before there's nothing left. Be aware of the harvest level. If you attempt to gather from an area that has been picked clean, you will waste your productivity. There is no daily cap on gathering, and players can find additional rare materials and cooking items while gathering. So get out there and find those rare items. Next up is the crafting professions. When you'd like to craft an item, you first need to decide what you'd like to craft. Weaponsmiths can make one-handed, two-handed, offhand, and ranged weapons of all types. They can also make the matching RPG tokens for those weapons. Armorsmiths can make plate and mail of all types and the matching RPG tokens. Outfitters can make leather and cloth of all types and the matching RPG tokens. Mystics can create scrolls, tomes, and enchantments that affect combat and professions, and provisioners can create food and potions that will affect combat and player vitality. When you think you've decided what you'd like to make, you'll need a recipe book for that profession, which can be purchased for free at any of the profession vendors. Then, you'll need a recipe to make an item. You'll start first by buying the recipe. Some of them are available for free, and others will require you to spend productivity to obtain. Once you've found a recipe you'd like to use, you put it in your recipe book, and then pull it up in that recipe book. You'll see the material costs, and if you have those materials on hand, you'll be able to craft the item. Crafting items will consume between 5 and 10 productivity, and you can craft items until you hit the daily professions cap for crafting, which is 45 productivity a day. The demands for materials and crafted items is useful for fighting other players, monsters, or aiding the various factions across the Doldrums. Additionally, players will be able to create bases and structures with their resources, and be able to market and trade with the various merchants across the Doldrums. That's all for our professions overview. I'll see you guys in the next video.